Hello, grade 10. This is Miss Brianna, your English teacher from Knowledge Private School. Welcome to lesson 11. Today, we will look at page 23 in your student book. Do you remember this story? We made sentences about this story. It was a story about a family. They went to see the waterfalls, but the boy fell. First, let's put these pictures in the correct order. What happened first? A, B, C, D, E, or F? E. Go to visit the great waterfalls at Ahmed Dawa. So E is first. What happened next? What did Adam do? This is the boy Adam. He climbed over the safety rail. So next, B. What happened next? He climbed over, but then he fell and hurt himself. D. What happened after D? Here, the tour guide called the hospital for help. C. What happened next? They looked after Adam and they took him to the hospital. F. And what happened after F? A. The doctor said, I don't think you're going to do any more climbing for a few weeks. Can you make simple sentences using the information below? So first we start with the subject, they. Then we need to use the past tense of go. What's the past tense of go? Went. They went to visit the great waterfalls at Ahmed Dawa. Okay, next is picture B. Can you make a sentence with this? What is the past tense of climb? The past tense of climb is climbed. So we can say Adam climbed over the safety rail. Okay, do you remember what happened next? D. Can you make a sentence with this information? First, we need a subject. He, and what did he do? He fell and hurt himself badly. So the past tense of fall is fell, and the past tense of hurt is hurt. What happened next? This one. The tour guide, the hospital for help. How do we make call past tense? We add ed. The tour guide called the hospital for help. What happened next? Picture F. What did they do? They, Adam, and him to the hospital. What's the past tense of look after? It's looked after. So they looked after Adam. And what's the past tense of take? Took. They looked after Adam and took him to the hospital. And what happened next? Picture A. The doctor, I don't think you're going to do any more climbing for a few weeks. What is the past tense of say? Said. The doctor said, I don't think you're going to do any more climbing for a few weeks. Great job, everyone. Now, let's try to tell the story. On your own, try to tell the story like we just did now. First, listen while I tell, then pause the video and you try. They went to visit the great waterfalls at Ahmed Dawa. But Adam climbed over the safety rail. He fell and hurt himself badly. The tour guide called the hospital for help. They looked after Adam and took him to the hospital. The doctor said, I don't think you're going to do any more climbing for a few weeks. Now, take a look at these sentences. They all start with while or when. Let's see if we can match these sentences with the pictures. For example, now A says, while the Wilson family was staying in Sulemani, while the Wilson family was staying in Sulemani. So we use the past continuous, was staying here, because it's a continuous action. So while the Wilson family was staying in Sulemani, what happened? What happened? They went to visit the great waterfalls at Ahmad Dawa. So A is the beginning of the sentence that goes with E. B says, while the others looked or were looking up at the waterfall, what happened? What was the second part of the story? Adam climbed over the safety rail. So we say, while the others were looking up at the waterfall, Adam climbed over the safety rail. C says, while Adam was climbing down the cliff, what happened? D, he fell and hurt himself badly. D says, while his dad was rescuing Adam, what happened? The tour guide called the hospital for help. E, when the paramedics arrived, here because we say when, this is a one-time action, not continuous. So we say past simple arrived, not were arriving, but just arrived. When the paramedics arrived, they looked after Adam and took him to the hospital. F, when Adam left the hospital the next day, the doctor said, I don't think you're going to do any more climbing for a few weeks. Now it's your turn. Pause the video. Try to make sentences. So here's the beginning of the sentence and here's the end of it. So read A and then finish with part E. If you want, you can write it down in your notebook so you can practice it that way too. When we have Zoom class or when we're in class again, we will practice telling our own stories. This is a very interesting story, but it ends well because he did not hurt himself too bad. Okay, let's look at your homework for today. Today's homework is pages 16 and 17 in your activity book. On page 16, finish this conversation using these words. For example, Chinar says, I tried to call you last night, but I think you were out. It was at 8 o'clock. Soha, I was in, but the phone. I'm sorry. Do we say I didn't hear or I wasn't hearing? Is this a continuous action or is it a single action? If it's a single action, then it's just past simple. Didn't hear. And that is the answer. But I didn't hear the phone. I'm sorry. Chinar says, perhaps you, TV at the time. Is it watched TV or were watching? Is watching TV a continuing activity or a one activity? It's continuing, right? So we can use the past continuous, were watching. The answer is were watching. Let's do one more. Soha says, no, I was working, at my homework. I was working hard or I was working hardly? I was working hard or I was working hardly? In this case, we would say hard. I was working hard at my homework. See if you can complete this on your own. We will check the answers in class. Next, Try to find all of these words in the puzzle below. The words are ambulance, careful, emergency, firefighter, flame, flower, frightened, hero, nasty, paramedic, police, registration, rescue, save, shout, smell, smoke, and towards. Find all these words below. If you don't understand a word, you can look it up in the dictionary or check Google Translate, or you can ask in class. Now, use words from the box to complete the following. So pick some words above. What do you think fits into these sentences? Number 1, she really loudly, but no one heard her. This must be something about talking, but it's something about talking really loudly. What word do you think it is from the words above? If you picked shout, you are right. She shouted really loudly, but no one heard her. Try to do 2 and 3 on your own. If you have questions or trouble, we'll talk about it in class. Finally, in part 3, we're going to collect vocabulary into networks. It's important we know which words belong together. So here are all the words: bedroom, brother, chairs, cupboard, dining room, family, grandmother, hall, kitchen, mother, shelf, and sink. Decide, is this word a place in my home, a thing for the home, or the family? Bedroom. Of course, bedroom is a place in the home, so you will write it here. Bedroom. What about brother? Is a brother a place, a thing, or family? Of course, it's family, so you'll write brother here. What about chairs? Are chairs a place, a thing, or family? Chairs are things, so you can write chairs here. Good luck in completing your homework. Again, those are pages 16 and 17 in your activity book. Thank you for joining me for today's lesson, and I'll see you in the live class. Goodbye, everyone.